Hello aspirants, welcome to a special episode of our Journey to Admission series. Today, we have our esteemed faculty member, Colonel Sunil Brijkrishan, here to talk to us about the expectations of an interviewer from a candidate.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't only just refer to you as ladies and gentlemen, but I would refer to you as young aspirants of a phenomenal program of the SIBM's admission process. Firstly, on the occasion of India's 72nd Republic Day, greetings to all of you. Friends, what I'm basically going to talk to you about are three very potent questions. These are questions which seem to, cause a lot of turmoil in the young candidates' minds because they keep wondering as to what exactly happens when they sit opposite a very dangerous team of interviewers who seem to be probing right into their past, present, and possibly the future. We are going to talk of three basic questions, or we are going to look at three basic aspects which I would like all my aspirants to be well versed with. These are basically: one, what do interviewers really look for in a candidate? Secondly, what do interviewers expect from a fresher, somebody who's fresh out of graduation in college? And secondly, or thirdly, I would say, people who have already had a fair amount of work experience. Finally, we will also look at the very, very important aspect which is actually the cause of a lot of travesty and travails in today's modern world, and that is online interviews, programs, classes, and how will an interviewer judge a young student who appears for an online interview. So without wasting any more time on that, aspirants, let's begin with the very first question, which basically says, what do interviewers look for in a fresher candidate? Now you tell me, you are young people who possibly have had no exposure or experience in a corporate environment. You're fresh out of college. So if I were to see a young person, a young lady or a young gentleman, 20, 21, 22, 23 years as the case may be, walk into an interview room, my eyes light up with excitement because here I see the future of India. I don't expect you to be Einsteins. I don't expect you to be, orators of great skills. I expect you to be people passionate about what you're going to get into, people who have a gusto in them, people who are beginning life from a very different perspective. What am I going to ask you? You are just out of, the oven. You're not yet into the frying pan, so to say. I'd like to know a little about you. I'd like to find out as to why are you a candidate that we need to look at probably from a selection criteria. I'd like to know what are your strong points, what are your not so strong points, and mind you, ladies and gentlemen, we have all of them. There is nobody in this world today who can say with pride that I have only got my strengths and no weaknesses. But I look at weaknesses as a prelude to a strength tomorrow. I'd also like to ask you a question or find out from you as to what are your immediate goals in life. When I say immediate goals, I'm looking at the next 5-6 years, when you will still be in prime of youth. How are you going to look at life from that perspective? Do you have a little ambition? Do you have an eye for detail? Do you have a passion for looking at the improbable or the impossible? Do I see it in you? Do I think you're a person who could handle a little bit of stress? Possibly a little bit of pressure? Are you willing to go that extra mile? This is what I'm expecting, ladies and gentlemen, from a fresh young student. You're just out of college. You're just out into the bad, cruel world. I'm going to look at you as to what is the dream job you're looking at. Now, dream job, for me, honestly, any job that you get in at the start of your career should be your dream job. I don't expect you to look at various aspects of jobs when you haven't even got a first one. I want to see how you work under slight bit of, tension and turmoil. I'd like to find out if you're able to handle an imaginary situation for the time being which causes you concern. Are you able to handle it well? I would also like to find out from you, what is your greatest accomplishment? How are you going to look at life? Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we are looking at. You are a fresher. Believe in yourselves. Self-belief is the motto to success. Desire, vision, persistence, guts. Do you have it in you? You have it in you. Part 1 of the hassle has been resolved. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what a young fresher is expected to portray, project, promote about himself in front of an interview panel. Having said that, let's look at things as to what are we looking at from a point of view of somebody who has been there and done that, and somebody who's going to be there and do it. Bear with me for just a few seconds. So when we looked at that very important aspect as to what do interviewers look for in a candidate, here we looked at candidates who had a mix of both, the freshness in them and the not so freshness in them. And by that I mean the people right out of college, and the other aspect, people right out of a job. So when you look at a candidate per se, we are not basically looking at it from work X and non-work X, fresher and non-fresher. But then having said that, everyone has this little piece of a little doubt in one's mind that what will happen to me if I'm a fresher vis-a-vis a person who already has 2 to 3 years of work experience. Well, honestly, friends, when I as an interviewer look at a candidate, while his experience may do good to him when it comes to a little more of maturity in possibly looking at the corporate world, I also look at a fresher as that, fresh, blooming young flower, all get up and go, which hasn't got up and went as yet. So I look at that person as another phenomenally good prospective candidate. So if I were to ask the fresher guy all the questions, it would be exactly what I just told you. Why you? Why should I select a candidate? Can you give me one reason other than your expertise in your academics, or other than the fact that you want to continue with an academic record? Is there something in you which tells me that here is a guy I'm looking at? So if you were to tell me reasons as to why should I select you, I think one of the greatest opportunities I would tell my students to grab is tell the interviewer, sir, you need to select me because I need a platform to take off from. I want a stepping stone. I'm all gung-ho. I'm all there, ready to do whatever you want me to do, but I just want a little takeoff. You give me an opportunity, sir. I will take off to eternity for all times to come. I need you to select me so that I am given an opportunity. Are you ambitious? Of course you are. Do you have a dream in your mind to be somewhere at a particular age in life? Certainly. But we are not jumping the gun. We are not preempting an improbable or an impossible, as I said earlier. We are taking it at one thing at a time. So I want this young fresher to show me that energy, show me that passion, show me that will, show me that, burning fire in him, which tells me I need to give this guy a chance. How do you do that? You do that by the way you project yourself. You do that by the confidence in your face. You do that by the body language that you are emoting. You do that by the way you smile. You do that by the way you make eye contact with me. And I'll deal with this part in my third aspect. But this is exactly what I'll expect out of somebody who's fresh. And as regards a person with work experience, well, just because you have already had 2-3 years of, expertise on a job, or you have already been in the bad, cruel world of corporates, I guess we'll raise the bar a little more and say, strategically, where do you look at your company? What would you like to advise your MD if he ever gave you an opportunity? I'm talking of people who now have that little bit of tajurba, as you said. What was that one instance in your workplace which caused a lot of concern to the organization? And how did you deal with that situation? That's a case-based study. I can always ask you questions based on that, ladies and gentlemen. But the fact of the matter also remains. Why did you leave a job which you already had? What made you suddenly decide to do an MBA when you were already there, earning money, doing well for yourself? I might also ask you to look back and say, what was so good and not so good about what you did? What do you feel about management? What did you feel about your boss? And if you are earning an amount of money at this point of time in your career, why isn't more than what your contemporaries are? Or possibly a question like, what would you say to your boss if he's crazy about an idea but you think that idea stinks. I could ask you questions like that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are just trying to segregate the younger from the not so young. So think about it, keep that spirit going, and we'll be back to take on the most pertinent question, the online concept in interviews. Bear with me. Now, coming to the most crucial aspect about the interview, more so in today's pandemic situation. How do I expect a candidate of mine, a young aspirant of mine, to prepare for a virtual online interview? At the very outset, let me assure you that an online interview is very much like a offline one, a live one. Don't for any moment think that just because you are sitting miles away and the interview team is somewhere else, you have the benefit of doubt. To be very honest, friends, you do not. The problem is a little more compounded now. So what I want all of you to ensure, please test your technology. You have to ensure that you have the right gadgets in front of you, at least your mobile phone, your laptop or whatsoever, your internet connection, your bandwidth, a sort of a backup inverter, generator, whatever it may be. Reason is, this is a moment of a lifetime. And one has been online for the last 1 year, and I do know the problems that my young students do face. Because we are not all of us in areas which are very, very urban, so to say. We are some of us in rural areas where bandwidths are not so strong. But having said that, it's not the job of the interviewer to ensure that. It's the job of the interviewee. So please test your technology. Set your scene, set your setup. Minimize all distractions possible. Shut the doors. Tell people to remain mum. There should be nobody who's making a noise in your background, because when it comes to selection, finally at the end of the day, the team will sit down and say, good guy, but such a noisy background. You need to prepare for it. And when you sit down, it's actually sitting down on a chair in front of your camera in a prepared state of mind. So what do you need to do for this, my dear friends? You need to practice. You need to carry out mock drills. You need to get family and friends. Make them sit in front of you, ask you questions. Make them shoot you in a video mode and look at it and see where you can improve yourself. Practice these things. Don't memorize them. It's very easy to catch a person, who doesn't make eye contact, because body language is being monitored by us. I'm looking straight into a camera. The moment my eyes move away from a camera, it gives me a hint that this man is using assistance. He has 5 more laptops ready with Google and Wikipedia on them, and he has got a team of people assisting him. And whatever is the question asked, they've already Googled it. Now, you might be able to do that. But you need to also understand that people sitting opposite you and interviewing you are professionals in the field. Please, for God's sake, don't do anything by rote. Dress immaculately. I'm sitting in front of you as a soldier from the army, projecting an image which will have a lasting impression, will have a bearing on my ability to connect with you. That's what I want you to do. Make a connect, make a connection. Your eyes must look at my eyes, even though there is a big laptop screen or something as a hurdle in front of us. Because for us, it's very easy to judge. For us, it's very easy to make out if somebody is original in language, in thought, in words, in deed. Because you look away, you point out at something else, and you'll give yourself away. But keep all the props you need to ensure that you're convincing us. You doing something like painting, you like to play the mouth organ, you have a flute, keep it by your side. Somebody might ask you, do you play the mouth organ? I do, sir. No harm in handing it up and showing it up. It only adds to the convincing part of it. Be yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Don't put on an act. A lot of us are nervous. We are expected to be nervous. Don't think that we were straight out of, Napoleon and Nelson. We are a little nervous. It's an important day in our lives. But when you believe that you can, I promise you, friends, anybody can. Desire, vision, persistence, guts. That's my motto as a soldier. for all my aspirants as self-belief. I really believe that all of you who will be viewing this have the potential to be on the campus very soon. Wish you well. Jai Hind.